welcome to the Mike Leaf Show here on the Warrior Sports Network. Postseason edition now, Coach, as we move on to the NSIC tournament. And that begins on Wednesday. The Warriors host Minot State at 7 o'clock here in McCowan Gymnasium, a team that you played already this year, a team that's coming from North Dakota. What are your thoughts going into this postseason game?
Well, it's disappointing in our last game and our loss to Augustana. And so, we've got a few days here for practice to get ourselves going. But, it's one of those things now where it is tournament time. It's the time that you've really worked all year for. You've got your teams that, Minot's got to travel a great distance. But you know what? Even when we've had to do that, it doesn't make a difference. It really doesn't. When you're in tournament time and you get out there on the floor, you're ready to lay it all on the line. And so I'm sure it's going to be a great game, a great battle. And, we played them earlier. We had beaten them, I think it was 12, but, it was a close game.
Absolutely. In tournament time, everybody's 0-0. The slate is wiped clean, which has got to be a pretty nice feeling for you guys, even though you've had a lot of success this year. Now it's 0-0, everybody's out there, and it's time to start again.
Yeah, it is. And you've got other teams and ourselves, little nicks here and there. You're hoping that your team is at this point really healthy. And so we're ready to go. We really are. And it's we're not looking by Minot by any means, as we haven't looked by anybody all year. And so it's going to be they've got some really good athletes on the team, and they've got a presence inside. They shoot the ball well outside, and they've had some good wins.
One thing that happened this past weekend, you got Taylor Cameron back. He's your senior, your point guard, floor general. He didn't get to play a ton of minutes, but having him back had to be a little bit of a boost to the team emotionally. I think it did and it didn't. And I say that tongue-in-cheek due to the fact that he's still very, very slow. And I thought in the first half he played a few minutes there. He did okay. And then in the second half, and I told him this, I thought he was a hindrance, and I probably played him too long. So we're going to have to evaluate that. But again, the weekend was used to find out where he's at this point in time. But if he can go, it'd be, like you said, a great help for us. A guy who had a good weekend last weekend is your other senior, Kellen Taylor, averaged a double-double. Now it's time. It's senior leadership time, and he's been through all these postseason things before. How much do you rely on him, especially with a young team like this, to get the guys ready?
A lot. A tremendous amount. And that's where, he plays so well when Taylor Cameron is out there with him. And he's taken on so much more of a scoring role. And earlier in the year, it was, really that rebounding category. But it's, we need him to play great games. And everybody else feeds off him. So his leadership is it's got to be there.
You've got 4 freshmen who are playing a lot of minutes. This is their first postseason. They got to be with you last year and experience that, but they weren't on the floor. How do you get those guys ready to go?
Oh, they're just shaking in their boots, too.
I'm sure they are. They certainly aren't playing like freshmen right now.
No, they're not, and I kid you with that. But it's a new experience for them, and they understand. And one of the big things for us is that we like to use our upperclassmen to know that they're playing for those guys that are in their last year. And so they'll play hard. They'll play as hard as they can, and you can go from Josh to Isaiah to Mr. Bauman and across the board, but they'll all step out there and, we knew what we did wrong the other night, and we'll fix it. It's easy to fix, and we'll come out really ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, 7 o'clock on Wednesday is when the Warriors host Minot State in the first round of the NSIC tournament. It'll be a great game, a great way to start the postseason here at Winona State. That's all we have before game time with Coach Leaf. We'll see you later here on the Mike Leaf Show.